Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on to the High Ground Zombies podcast. We're back live here on YouTube. And we're not going to bother with Spotify or Anchor anymore because we are done with that. As always, I have my panelists, Mr. JC Hateful. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing well, man. I'm thriving. I'm absolutely thriving.
You're thriving. I love it. And today we have a guest on the High Ground Zombies podcast. This man is in charge of Awoken Undead, Awoken Squads, and the Awoken, I guess, Foundation, I want to say. No other, Mr. Cavern. Welcome on to the show, pal.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no worries, man. No worries. We've got so many questions, obviously, to deep dive into. But as it is the High Ground Zombies podcast, we go always through like what our first questions are, where we're at, and all this and all that. So, JC, what is our first question?
Okay, so I was just gonna ask both of you. I mean, just generally, how's it going in Awoken? What's it like being a part of it? That's what I wanted to know.
I think I think Switch should definitely take the reins on this one.
Oh, I take the Reds. Oh, okay, Mr. Cavern.
I would love to know what Switch's opinions are, or how he feels about being in Awoken right now.
Well, of course, it's been a while. No, I think the last podcast we actually posted out, I think I was already mentioned I was in Awoken, wasn't I? I can't remember,
Yeah,
actually.
I think so. I can't exactly remember how long
How long's it been since we did the last podcast? I don't know. It's been a bit. I think the last time I did on Edge, I was in Awoken. Yeah, for some people who are new to the High Ground Zombies podcast, yeah, I'm part of Awoken Undead. I'm part of the content creational squad with a group of me and a few other guys that will mention, I'm sure enough, later in the podcast. I'll throw our names out. Rezu, I know you're going to be probably watching this back. the guy himself. Flamer as well. And Chronic Undead. There's more people as well.
Don't forget Assassin.
And Assassin, yeah, the goat. He's gonna be screaming like, "Why is my name not mentioned?" Yeah.
No, you've forgotten another two.
I forgot
We have
number
Toe.
two.
We have
Turl.
Ali.
Oh yeah, them two.
There we go. That covers the squad.
that covers the Undead squad. Yeah.
That's one less anxiety for the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Whoa, thank you, Cavern, for like saving me there. Yeah, no. God, I'm gonna listen to this back on the chat later. Why is my name not mentioned? Yeah. So we're part of a group of, I guess, Black Ops 6 or Zombies crew in the Call of Duty scene franchise where we're making content. And posting it on YouTube or whatever social media platforms we're on. I know some people are live streaming now on X as well. That's a new thing as well. Yeah. So we're just a group of gang going through.
I did actually. I ran a stream on X just to test it, and it was really engaging.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really engaging. I think my viewer count has never been so high.
That's amazing.
Really?
It was really good. I think I peaked at 70. 70 concurrent viewers.
That's amazing, actually.
Really good.
Yeah, that's decent. Like, I would have never thought of it like that. Yeah. I guess that is what Awoken is and what we're about. And you know what? Can I just say? I'm absolutely loving it. I'll say it on live stream. Thank you very much to Mr. Cavern down here for taking me on board with me and my stupidity ideas. And yeah, just dealing with me. But yeah, that's where we're at, and I'll pass the baton on here to you, Cavern.
So I think in terms of how I feel about the team, I absolutely love the team. It started off as a sort of like almost like a passion project because, I mean, do any of us in this podcast not just love zombies? Is that kind of not why we're here?
Yeah, no, that is true.
Yeah. it was very much, the passion that I had for zombies that made me want to create a strictly zombies based content creation team. And the most I'd ever seen of a content creation team in the zombies community was Obey Undead. And it just so happens that pure coincidence, I decided the second word for the team would be undead. It's just the most fitting. I've since Awoken's inception, like it gets compared to Obey Undead quite a lot. However, I would,
that.
yeah, I would personally argue that it's entirely own entity.
Yeah, we're not like this is not the like. I guess a lot of people, I guess I've been seeing as well, like obviously comparing us to say, oh well, Awoken Undead is practically Obey Undead. Partially, yeah, okay, maybe a wee bit true, but we're not as like, we're not Greg FPS style, you know what I mean? We're not like, we'll have like thousands, well, maybe into the future, maybe thousands, but for the meantime, we're simply on our own, I guess. We're on a standalone, I guess. Am I right by saying that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I respect everything that Greg FPS did with Obey Undead, and I would absolutely say that to some degree, Awoken Undead was certainly inspired in terms of a zombies content creation team.
Yeah.
No. I mean, yeah. Say like, while I can understand like why people say that, but I also understand it is like a, it's its own entity out there in the content creation world of zombies. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to make it very clear as well. I feel like I've thrown out that people say make the comparison a lot. I just want to say that there hasn't been one negative comparison.
no, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, it was honestly like the response from the very day that the account was made was really positive.
There was a lot actually. Like you had like support from Clark ESJ and I think as well. I might have seen some of the guys from the Z Lads as well talking about us. Caleb Ross. Like again, go back to Clarky. Too bad for Xbox as well. Obviously, good friends that we are friends with JC. Obviously, with collabed with in the past. As well, Senate, we've also collabed with likes of Jason Hoisington as well. We've also had on the podcast and ex Obey Undead member as well. And I think the response and where we're going with Awoken Undead is insane. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to see where we're going with in the future with this, Cav.
Just to sort of get my response back on track, would you be able to repeat the question for me? What was the initial question?
Yeah.
The initial question was just I initially just wrote down a general question of just how is it
Oh, okay.
Awoken Undead, and like sort of how do you like?
I think I totally understand what it is that you're asking.
Yeah.
So
this is what happens.
I'm so sorry.
No, I found myself in this position where you know exactly what you want to say, but it's just finding the words to say it.
Yeah.
I'd say for this question, I can take a particularly unique standpoint because being the founder of the Awoken brand, but also the owner of Awoken Undead, it's different from the average content creator within the team. I don't really think or feel any different from any other members in the team. It's just that I feel like a lot of the responsibility lays upon my shoulders. If things were to go wrong, if there's any negativity or hardship within the team chat, which I mean, really does not happen. But should that ever be the case, it would definitely fall upon my shoulders. But I think what I want to say in short is that I actually don't feel any different from my fellow teammates, and that's what I think separates Awoken from many other teams, not just in the zombie space, but in esports. Esports teams content creation teams overall, because I feel like there's always a clear divide and separation between those who have following or more influence and those who are just simply in the team.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I wasn't sure if I explained that in the way that I intended to, but hopefully that comes across properly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think I completely understand that. Like, I can understand that. That's obviously probably quite a big weight of it, but it is. It's good that you sort of don't see yourself as like, you don't sort of separate yourself apart from the others in the team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it all falls down to the fact that Awoken Undead in general has no ego. There is no ego. Ego does not exist within the team.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is equal. Everyone is a teammate. I think that is the key word is teammate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't refer to the people in the team as, for what they're worth. This person can create content. This person could possibly get me a few more followers. We're all teammates. The goal should always be to benefit off of one another whilst simultaneously giving each other that sort of that leg up on the ladder.
We're sort of like we're all being one team and we're all in for the same, same money,
Yeah.
same boat. Yeah.
We all share a common goal, and that's to thrive in the zombies community whilst making content.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if we can all help each other to give each other that leg up, then why would you not? That is the whole purpose of Awoken Undead.
Being able to do that is a really good quality to have, not just as a team but as a person.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And I think I just want to take the opportunity to thank every single member that we do have, because I know it's really cliche, but none of it, like the cogs in this machine would not work without every individual member. Should one collapse, the whole sort of thing kind of collapses. Everyone has sort of pulled their weight and contributed to the team in a way that has allowed the team to really sort of flourish and grow healthily on such a short time frame.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, like, what is it? I was coming in whenever I was jumping in all into the mix and all as well. I know it was sort of like, okay, right, need to get the word out. We'll try to do it as quickly as as we can, get the streams going, get the team going. And I think it's been a really good idea. Like, obviously my previous video, I on my YouTube channel, shameless plug. Yeah, thank you. Obviously I did one with Assassin and Chronic, and and I think it's more like whenever I was doing it with him, it was a lot of team building as well. And obviously I think there was one that Residue did as well. It was the Tournament Easter. It was me, Chronic, Rez, and Turl. I think that was good team building. Sorry.
I've got to say, when I saw those videos coming out, I felt it was honestly a sense of pride in what we were creating.
Yeah.
To sort of see several individuals who, some knew maybe of each other, but for the most part knew nothing of one another, coming together to create a video. That to me was really special, because this is a team that we had created together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, when a video is formed from it, well, in that same scenario, it's crazy. It's crazy because it almost makes me think like these videos wouldn't exist without Awoken.
Oh. It's quite inspirational, actually. It really is.
Listen, Cav, like, I mean, this is going to be speaking out of the heart, and everybody else is watching this. Thank you so much for giving, I guess, it for me and the rest of the guys. Even, obviously, we'll dive into it later in the podcast for the rest, but for like the team itself, thank you so much for giving us this platform, this space to make content. Doing the best as we can, essentially.
Oh, honestly, thank you. No, thank you guys. I would argue that you guys created the space for yourselves.
Appreciate it, Mucker. Appreciate it. Right. Shall
Enough
we
of
move on? what?
Did you have anything to say about Awoken? Like, did you have anything written down?
For me? Oh, I was just speaking on the top of my mind. Sorry. I guess we'll move to the next question. I guess well, obviously we might have touched on it a little bit there, pre to the podcast, Cav. What about the other team, the Awoken squad, the multiplayer scene, and how is that going? Because obviously I don't see a lot. Maybe what's happening? Like, do we have a big multiplayer set family as well? I know it was like mentioned a while ago.
That is a really interesting question. I think, in first of all, to understand Awoken Squad, you have to understand where Awoken comes from, because
Yeah.
although Awoken Squad was only made public recently, I think it was last month. Is that right?
I think last month. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Awoken Squad has existed for several years before Awoken Undead.
Oh wow, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
How?
when I say we have
Yeah.
to understand where Awoken starts, where it began,
Yeah.
it actually, Awoken began as a brand created by three individuals in the year 2022.
Wow.
It started off as Awoken branding, and it was created by myself, Rezu or Jack, and another individual called Awoken Bands, who you probably unlikely have ever heard of.
I've never heard of bands before, but I've heard you and Rez talking about bands whenever we're doing our little solo playthroughs and all and whatnot.
So Bands is a really good friend of mine, as is Resi. We all went to the same school together. You know, we basically grew up with one another, and we created Awoken. Interestingly enough, we were selling merchandise with the original. We still use it to this day, the Awoken logo, and eventually, going into the year 2023, 2020. Well, it was still kind of 2022. This three-person created brand transitioned into an exclusive three-person content team.
Mm-hmm.
So Awoken Squad was only ever three people.
Wow.
And yeah, so Awoken Squad, until recently, and that's why I say it went public, was only ever intended to be three people. So it was a big decision.
Mm-hmm. To take on the big board, to take on like obviously switching from Awoken Squad into like Awoken Undead, which it is to this day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with the release of Black Ops 6, which was, shortly on the horizon, Awoken Undead was then formed in anticipation for the absolute publicity that zombies would receive, which I think it's receiving good publicity, but I'm willing to say that it's not as much as I thought it would be. However, I do suspect that in future years, Black Ops 6 content will become more popular than it is during its life cycle.
Something to look back on, essentially. Like I am planning to do another video at some point. Maybe I was planning to do a something to do with perks or first room challenges. I would really want to try and bring that to the table as well, especially solo content and as well, branching out for the rest of the guys. But obviously, going back, would you ever have inspirations to start maybe like a multiplayer group, or would you still keep Awoken Undead as for what it is right now?
I think Awoken Undead will always be zombies exclusive. That much I can say with absolute certainty.
Yes,
I think
that's good.
I think it would be really distasteful to create a brand solely for content creators to thrive in a zombies community to then throw something in the mix like multiplayer. I just feel like it's kind of like spitting in the face of all those who join with the intention of growing through zombies.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I guess I'm trying to think of another one here. So obviously we covered that. We covered about the Awoken and how it really started to begin. It sort of it reminds me a lot whenever when I first started the Zombies fan tournament. Of course, JC, you'll remember this. Going back 2018. Or was it 2017? I couldn't remember. 2018, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I think it was 2018. Yeah.
2018, I remember starting out with just me, another guy, Luke Meyer. You know what? I still talk to the guy still to this day. Nice guy. We met through for what I used to do. So many people might remember me. I used to do a Lex fan page, for just the lulls and and it sort of took off from there really. And yeah, oh gosh, you remember
That's
that?
an old one. That is an old one. I met you back then.
Yeah,
I
and
can't believe that.
I remember Luke Meyer bringing up the idea, saying he wanted to start his own zombies tournament and all, and I remember I was like, yeah, I'm so interested. I want to join this. I really want to get involved with this, and I remember it was that from that point on, ever since we started doing that, then I sort of brought up the idea. It was like, oh, why don't we just do, like, say, a zombies fan tournament? We raise money for charity. We do what Easter eggs for charity was, and ZWC will combine the two events together, and what it was to this day, and so many people maybe have tried to strive off of us, or like copy us, and not like in the meaning, not in a nasty way, might I just add, but like in a good way. We've seen likes of Zombies for Charity as well. That took really off as well with Caleb Ross, Legend HD, and Zazu. You remember Zazu, don't you, JC? I think. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You remember Zazu. And I remember him pitching the ideas. He's like, yeah, I like this idea, and I like what you guys are doing. And it's sort of like whenever you talk about this, Cav, how AWKN really all came about. I sort of always go back to like the good OG days, Black Ops 4 days, Infinite Warfare days, and sort of take me through like a memory train of what, like, where the Zombies Fan Tournament went, and obviously how we realistically ended it, really, and it was all for, I guess, the greater good. Is the
Yeah. I mean, I mean, say like we ended up leaving ZFT in when was that? It was 2023?
No,
2022.
2022. We decided that was a hard bullet for me to swallow.
Me too.
And you as well, JC.
Really hard for me.
Yeah, because I remember pitching the idea to. I'll have to send a miss clip. I'll have to I said it the other day, Mark Junior. I remember pitching the ideas in school and all, and I was like, because whenever Luke Meyer decided, yeah, I'm kind of like want to step down from doing all this, I was like, who am I gonna look for next? And it was Mark. Brought the idea to Mark, and figured that was for ZFT 3. I think it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
ZFT 3, I brought up the idea to Mark. We took it with me and him. We sort of directed it, and then, well, obviously, when Mark says, like, I don't really fancy doing it, then I brought this man right here, my panelist, Mr. JC Hateful.
And the rest was history.
So, but, like, going back to comparison, like, I feel like, whenever you talk about how you really started it, Cav, I feel like it's, like I said, I feel like I'm a repetitive person here, it just sort of brings me back to that memory of whenever I first started, and obviously, here we are.
I can see certainly why you would draw those comparisons and why it somewhat feel nostalgic.
Yeah. Obviously, we were like a franchise. I remember doing the merch. Oh, bro, do you remember the merch, JC?
Yeah, I you know what? I was actually wearing the T-shirt I made for ZF. I think it was ZFT 4.
Oh, what one was it?
It was the Jug one.
Oh, bro, that's a memory. I still have that, I still have a ZFT5 poster, the ZFT4 poster as well. I have 3 as well.
I wore it to uni yesterday.
What is it?
I literally wore it to uni yesterday.
Oh wow, there you go. That really says it's the. Yeah.
I'm still doing ZFT promotion.
I know, crazy. But yeah, I've still got a lot more, but I'll jump back onto, I'll touch back on it. But JC, have you got another question for our guest?
I was actually going to ask. as founder of Working on Dead,
Mhm.
do you have any big plans for the future? And
Interesting.
would you be comfortable sharing them, or any
Um,
plans?
yeah, definitely. I can certainly share some plans. So I'd say the common plan and the absolute right thing we should do is start consistently putting out content. I mean, that's a given. You're not going to grow if you're not consistently putting out content because who wants to subscribe to something that has nothing to watch, you know?
Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely.
Following that, I think there needs to be some exclusive, captivating uh, advancements in the content, similar to the Awoken Games series, that sort of keeps people absolutely hooked on the chance that they could be featured in the video. Because something that I found since creating content for several years now is that if there's one thing that your viewers like, it's to be part of the content. It really immerses them in the content if they know there's a chance that they might be in it.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, to answer your question, big plans for Awoken. I would say more content, bigger content, and I might even throw in more players, introducing more Awoken members.
Oh, heard it here
I'll leave you
first.
guys with that one.
Heard it here
My eyes right
first.
now.
No, that yeah, no, it does sound like you've got honestly a great future for the brand, and like I I'm gonna be watching all the way.
Right. I honestly, I look forward to seeing you there. Maybe I might even see you in Awoken Games.
We'll see.
We will see.
Right. Well, that's quite a good question. Actually, I really like that one.
Yeah, that was a really good question. It's a difficult one to ask. Not to ask so much. To answer because the big plans, I feel, are often spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the kind of thing you think about at 3 a.m. or in the shower. You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, an idea comes to you. How are you going to absolutely revolutionize your brand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I kind of get that as well, because while I'm not building necessarily a brand at the minute, like I do understand that sort of like brain spark at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I've had so many of those recently because I'm currently making a game with a team of 10.
Oh wow.
So well,
Secret.
it's no, it's part of a university project.
Yeah.
But
No, yeah.
I have gotten that so many times recently, so I completely understand that, and it's great
Yeah.
that you're sort of utilizing that spark to build your brand up more.
I think where we might be able to draw the comparison in the way that you and I are similar then are the fact that, you know, you say you're doing it with a team of 10. I'm also doing it with like a team of 10.
Oh, cool.
These ideas can't really come to fruition without the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say that's where we are sort of our own personal projects sort of align.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's quite amazing to see this cross path, like, you know, work a team of 10 and all, and I think it's I guess it's going back to, you know, our first question. It was practically, you know, you work as a team together, and I think that's where everything strives. So like, oh gosh, I remember having, like, you know, you could have, whereas I'm probably lying down fast asleep, I may just be like, oh right, what am I thinking of before I go to sleep? Oh yeah, I need, like, oh, this idea came into my head, you know, and I like that idea, and that's quite good for like content creational ideas as well. I think as well that's really, it's quite good for considering maybe what's to come in the future. If
Mm.
if we are allowed to talk about it, Cavern, maybe the stuff on YouTube.
Sorry, repeat that.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Are we allowed to maybe say about potentially the Awoken YouTube channel?
Of course we can. So, linking back to the Awoken Games stuff, something that will be happening initially on that YouTube channel for Awoken Undead is any existing episodes will be uploaded to the Awoken Undead channel, because it will be transitioning from being, the personal project to the channels. It's not really about me now. It's about Awoken Undead. It becomes an Awoken Undead exclusive series.
Yes.
I mean, the clue's in the name, Awoken Games, it wouldn't make sense for me to keep that solely on my own channel.
Yeah.
But also, go on.
Sorry, I was gonna say also, like, having maybe like a 4-man group and whatnot, we could go through all the Easter eggs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, that was exactly, you took the words out of my mouth. To be honest, I think there's going to be dedicated teams within the team that are gonna, post content on whether it's Easter eggs, challenges, you name it. There's gonna be all kinds of content coming from specific set groups within Awoken. So I guess you could consider Awoken to have its very own factions within its team, dedicated to loading and producing set types of content.
So whereas it's like, say for like instance, say on my channel, right, I could just have like maybe my own directional path of like, okay, yeah, I could maybe have some Awoken guys, we can do stuff for personal channels and whatnot, or like, and then we could maybe, like, if we wanted to do like the Awoken, so say 1 week it could be Turl, Chronic, Assassin, and yourself, or the next week after it could be me or you or whatnot. We go through, or you know what I mean, like sort of like reactions and type as well. I think it would be quite good as well.
Exactly. I think it's important to emphasize, like, the channel isn't the group Awoken Undead channel shouldn't be viewed as so much a job, something you have to do, but just a place to sort of explore creativity with content and do so with your fellow teammates.
Absolutely, and I think it's quite good as well in terms of, say, if you want for like our channels, or in instance, maybe people are thinking like, oh, I'm watching a Cavern video, for instance, and oh, maybe recommendations. Oh, there's like more videos like this on, say, like my channel, Assassins, Chronic, Resues. You know what I mean? Or like as well for like the whole Awoken idea. Sorry, is what I meant to say. So like if you're watching an Awoken Undead video, then there's like personal ones to go to, say, like my channel, Res, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just sort of like set playlists almost.
Yeah, like a set playlist, exactly. Yeah, correct.
So that being said, Switz, I actually have a question for you.
Oh gosh, me.
Should, when the time comes and you start to upload your own content to Awoken Undead, my question for you is, how will you differentiate your own content from your teammates in order to build the Switz brand within Awoken?
You say deficient, like, sorry, what's that word? Deficient.
How will your content differ from your fellow members of Awoken?
Oh, that is a good question for me. I feel like with how my channel normally goes, well, at the current status, it's like Black Ops 6 reactions. I still want to stick with, like, say, like the reaction vids as well on my channel. I love like reacting. Obviously, every year, me and JC here will react to the gaming awards. I think that's always quite good. And just today, I had a wee look there that the reaction video that I posted out has hit now just over 100 views on it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that is quite good in my eyes. Like, if a video is not like, when I look at my statistics, if I know the video hasn't done as well, maybe it's like 4 or 5. Not that I'm being ungrateful or anything like that, but I feel like if it hasn't, reached over maybe like 5 viewers and whatnot, then I know I'm like, okay, maybe I'll not do that. But say if it's hitting around about the 20 mark, 30, 40, 50, above, then I know that, like, I want to keep going for video ideas like that. For like direction, I guess like going back to that is sort of maybe in the future, I don't know, if I get sick of, Black Ops or Call of Duty, for instance, then maybe I'll hop back on to, say, I don't know, what's good coming out? Interstellar, I know that's quite good. Obviously, made by Naughty Dog. That'll be coming out soon. GTA 6, of course. You know what I mean? Like, I've got video ideas planned for that as well. you know, and I think as well, you know, obviously I want to still stick with, obviously, I guess my role for being a content creator or undead content creator. I still want to stick with that as well. So have a mixed balance. So say maybe, I don't know, one video one week's gonna be GTA 6, the next week after might be a live stream for Black Ops 6, or for instance maybe going back to the older Call of Duties like I have done in the past, or doing the Gold Rush challenge. I still want to continue on, you know, continuing with that, you know, and I feel like as well it's I think it'd be quite good, you know, and you know, for directional type. So yeah, if that's what you're trying to ask me, that's where I would like to go for terms of direction. I hope I've answered that right.
I think that's perfectly. Something I want to highlight is it was something you said at the very beginning, which was it was sort of how you sort of gauge what to do and what not to do based on the viewer count.
Yes.
I think it's important to highlight that because a lot of people, as you say, will see the five viewer count and they will become disheartened, and you know, rightfully so. But equally, someone not in your position would see the 50 viewer count and be equally as disheartened. And I feel like a lot of upcoming creators fail to recognize that, you know, that I know it's not necessarily the way it works all the time, but 50 people just watched your video. 50, you know, maybe 45 unique people just watched your video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something to work on.
Mm-hmm.
It's something to work with, and something that I've actually I've made an effort of doing this is if someone comments, I don't just reply to them or so much as just like their comment. I'll actually make an effort to conversate with them and find out what it is that they liked about the content.
I was gonna say as well, like I feel like as well, like Twitter polls as well are quite a good or
Twitter
Instagram
follows.
polls. Yeah. Yeah, like doing polls on say like social media where it'd be like, what do you want this week? And I've seen you doing this, Cavern, for say for your live streams on Twitch, you know, what do you all
Yeah.
want this week? What do you want this, you know, today and whatnot. I think it's quite good to also interact with your also viewers. Like I'm not saying that I'm not selfish of any viewer. I do not care how many people watch my video. I post videos that I feel like are quite good for me. If people don't like it, then fair enough. Then I probably won't share it. But like if I have people like, you know, like I say, going to the 50, 60, 100, then I know I'm like, I really like people like that idea. 100 people will just watch my video. Might be the same person, repetitive over and over and over again. But like at the same time, if that person's watching over and over and over again, then I know it's kind of a good sign that people like that video and I want to just do it again, you know?
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, and yeah. Um,
I was gonna ask another question as well. Sorry, I keep coming up with questions.
Questions are great.
they're lovely.
So I was wondering, how do you think the potential is for the rest of Black Ops 6, but not only the rest of Black Ops 6, the rest of, well, future Call of Duty games for the brand of Awoken Undead?
Interesting. Where to start on this question? I think if we're generally speaking, how do I feel like Black Ops 6 is looking for the rest of its life cycle? I still think Black Ops 6 has the opportunity to cement itself as one of the best zombies games, and that's a loaded statement. But I mean, and by no means am I saying it is the best, but it has the opportunity with its future map releases and whatever it chooses to sort of integrate to become one of the best. In terms of, so was the question sort of how do I see Awoken Undead's content sort of forming, being for the rest of Black Ops 6's life cycle?
Yes. Yeah.
I would say towards the back end of its life cycle, mid to back end of its life cycle, I really think that the content is going to pick up. And I think it's momentum that we're going to take into future games as well as, I want to say future games, but also just like sort of cement that traction in just the zombies community. Because I'm not so much as concerned with Awoken going from game to game. I just want the people of Awoken Undead to sort of thrive and flourish as a team of content creators in a collaborative space that sort of promotes that growth, that creativity, for the sole and simple fact that they're zombies creators, not because they're playing Black Ops 6, not because they're playing Black Ops 7 or whatever the zombies game might be, just the sole fact that they've got personality, they're making content, and they're playing zombies.
Yeah, no, I think you answered that perfectly. I think another thing I'll add on top of that, in terms of how content will adapt with different games. I was going to ask the same question about, for instance, like zombies adjacent games, like for instance zombies games that are similar to Call of Duty Zombies and are popular within the zombies community. Like for instance, Scare Ritual that came out somewhat recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would find it really difficult to speak on that topic just because I've actually not explored the endeavors of other zombies games. It's something that I'm actually quite under researched, and I'll probably have to go and look at that. Okay. So maybe perhaps in a future episode I can return and I can feed back on that question.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. I think obviously we might be running out of ideas, but to talk about. There is one though I definitely want to ask. I know maybe somebody might have asked it in the Q&A. Is there any aspirations for an Awoken Undead house? Question mark?
First of all, Switz is getting kicked from Awoken, so Switz won't be in the house.
Yes! Finally, I'm free!
An Awoken house is a really, really interesting concept, especially when you consider that we've got a pretty split 50-50 UK and US team base. I think that'd be really interesting. But I mean, the idea of a content creation house is great and all, but there's so many.
So a lot, isn't there?
A lot goes into it. Like it's the kind of stuff that you see on screen. You see the phase houses, the many other content creation houses, and you think that's great. I would love to do that.
Z house.
But there's the funding. There's the practicality of living with people and make content with. I mean, also I don't think the girlfriend would be very happy with that.
Exactly. No, I agree.
So that being said, you guys can live together. I'll set up shop somewhere nearby.
Yes. Sorry, Jesse. What was you gonna say?
No, it's fine. I think there's also like the worry of like you live with the people that like you collaborate with constantly.
Yeah, it kind of takes away from the special factor, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely. But saying that, is there any more? I think we might have talked about it. Was there maybe any more concept ideas where we could maybe go with for Awoken, or?
I'm not so sure on future concept for Awoken, but I do want to offer you guys something that I've had written in my notes since the day that Awoken was created.
Oh wow!
So on this day, I wrote, I want Awoken to become an established brand that is most commonly associated with Call of Duty Zombies, the go-to place for engaging zombies content. And in terms of the hopes for Awoken, that very, very short statement, the go-to place for engaging zombies content, summarizes and encapsulates what Awoken is about. So that is the hope. If there was a concept for the team, that is the concept, the general concept, the number one concept.
I like that, and you've always still stick to it as well. I think as well, hopefully, and maybe in the future, we'll maybe see some with other people, with the potential of the Awoken YouTube channel, that'll be the go-to place for Call of Duty Zombies, and yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm out of ideas. JC,
I think that's all of the questions surrounding Awoken Undeads that I had. I think.
Is there anything you would like to add, Cavern? Maybe we can talk about.
Nothing more to talk about in particular, but I do have a whole plethora of questions on Twitter.
I mean, sure, we
I did
can.
write that down to look at the end, but we could look at it now, considering we're on the topic
of Awoken.
Whatever you guys think the direction we should go in, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I think we should answer sort of relevant questions.
Absolutely.
Now, yeah.
Let's answer some.
I think
it's like some of these questions I'm seeing, like they could go into all sorts of sections.
I think a lot of these questions could also be directed at all three of us as well. I feel like there's three very varying takes that we could all give.
If anybody else is in the live stream, leave it down in the chat. We'd love to answer it on air. That'd be quite good. If it's any questions for me, any questions for JC, or any questions for Cavern.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What are one of the questions you would like, relevant questions we would like to talk about?
I guess we sort of already talked about the purpose of Awoken and what you're trying to achieve from it. I was just wondering, did you have anything to add to that, or?
I'd say if there was one last thing I would like to add to what I would like to achieve from Awoken, it's to give every one of the players their own platform, to give every individual within Awoken a place to create their own content and build a brand for themselves, not just represent Awoken, but be something so much more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a very important thing to go by when not only building a brand but building a team.
Yeah.
Building a not only an organized team but a very collaborative, and also just generally like you have a good time together.
Yeah, there's got to be synergy.
Absolutely.
If there's no synergy, there's no team, and I've been in teams, several teams in the past, and if first of all, if you have a team where there's players flying under the radar, it's not a team.
Yeah.
There needs to be a constant flow of synergy. There needs to be, good chemistry between everyone, because that's where those golden moments in the content space are made.
Yeah.
You can't have like somebody flying underneath the radar, like you're saying, like I'm part of this, and have all the gloat to say like, oh, I'm in Awoken Undead, for example, ha ha ha, you know what I mean? Like no, like come on, bro. Like, I just feel like a lot of people may misunderstand the point of, say, being in Awoken Undead, or somebody who goes into it and then and say like, oh, I could work with you, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'd love to do this, do that, and not really put any content out, if that makes any sense. I'm not naming names or anything, like, cause I'm not that person, and I think it's the key purpose of being an Awoken or any content creational squad, I think, is just if you want to be on this team, you got to put out the content, you got to put out the work, you got to put out, you know what I mean? Nothing comes automatically. You can't get like free followers and whatnot, just like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might misunderstand it and think like, oh, yada yada.
I think that is really important in terms of Awoken Undead's recruitment process, because so many teams, just like in the recruitment process, and everyone within the team currently, they've been sort of methodically picked out and chosen based on key attributes and their core values and content, the things that they want to achieve in the team. I always ask a series of questions to every single person. Switch, you might even recall this yourself. I always ask questions such as, what are your aspirations for the team? What do you hope to bring to the table? You know.
I remember getting that. I remember getting that question answered to me actually. Whenever you were when we first met or first crossed paths, it was like, "What are your aspirations? What can you bring to the table?" You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there is times where okay, maybe I'll go a month without uploading a video, but like, you know what I mean. But I'm still here. You know what I mean? I still bring
I,
some ideas. You know.
yeah, I remember the very day, the exact day I recruited you, and you sort of proposed this podcast.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
instantly, I went and checked it out and knew for sure that the High Ground Zombies podcast had to be affiliated with Awoken in some way, even if it was just episodes alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I mean, Cav? Like I said, and everybody else is watching this, and as well, JC, and I think a lot of people that are watching this, they'll think like, oh, they're all gonna have Cavern on. Like, listen, we'll have Cavern. We'll be having you back, and potentially another person as well. Hopefully in the future, because it's quite good. And it's always interesting to hear out for the public. For instance, for getting everybody on, or you know what I mean. Like, it's quite good, and I think it's quite good for as well for getting the word out, or even if it's just, for instance, me and JC, for example, just ramble about whatever we're going about our week and whatnot, and I think it's that's what I love about podcast ideas. I think as well, going back to the very very beginning, because whenever we did the podcast, JC, I think it was before, I guess, you came on. I remember we used the podcast for ZFT3.
Yeah. The first podcast was titled ZFT3 Podcast 1.
Yeah, bro.
And obviously I wasn't part of it.
Oh, jeez.
But this was back in 2020. April 21st, 2020. So on April 28th this year, it will be the 5th anniversary of the High Ground Zombies podcast.
Jesus, I feel old.
But it is, it would be, it would be absolutely great to collaborate with Awaken Undead in the future. Yeah.
I'm honestly really looking forward to seeing other Awoken Undead members on this podcast.
Yeah, there's so many more people we want to have on here. Like, it's...
I'm really looking forward to it for the simple fact that you guys now have an opportunity to sort of unpack each individual member, and I can't wait for those kind of episodes. Should they happen, because there's some things you can find out in text conversation, but I feel like this format of speaking over a call is so much more insightful.
It's satisfying. That's why whenever I think 2020 was like key podcast era. I was like, I really want to get on. I really want to do this. I really, really want to do this. Like, the podcast ideas, to me, I've always enjoyed doing it, and I think it's always, obviously we had in the past where we used to have Spotify. It still is there, but it's just more of a pain in the arse to put it on there now. Like, that's why I just scrapped it, and like, I like the simple format of going on live, and I think it's more better, for simple fact, because people in the live chat can answer questions, they can answer this, they can answer that, or in terms of, as well, like I said, live chat answering questions to us, whether it's about what are we doing, or you know what I mean, etc. But yeah. Yeah.
I was also going to ask. We kind of touched on it before, but Sarah asked, "Will Awaken Games return?" Obviously, we did talk about it a little bit earlier.
There's a lot of anticipation for the second Awoken Games, and I get these DMs almost weekly from previous participants and people who want to participate in the future games. And can I reveal a date for the Awoken Games 2?
Oh.
I can not.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I cannot. I really cannot because it's a process. I have to, find the players first. So just know that if a tweet goes out and I'm looking for Awoken Games players, the chances are the games are happening the very next day, if not the same day of the tweet.
Oh,
Can I provide a time frame for Awoken Games 2? Yes, I can. Not an exact date, but I can. Awoken Games 2 will take place mid-March.
oh, okay. So
Mid-March.
we're looking at pretty soon then.
Mid-March, yeah.
Mid-March. I like that.
And the second games will be a lot bigger, a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the video to be even better than the first one.
Absolutely, I think it'd be quite good as well for the Awoken YouTube channel as well once it goes onto there. I think it'll also, once you have it on there, I think a lot of people maybe want to get involved with it for, like, say, the third one might be 10 times bigger than the second one.
It might just be. It might just be. I also, touching on the Awoken games, the Awoken games will not strictly be multiplayer games anymore. It's actually going to be zombies incorporated games too.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Me like this. Me want to get involved.
It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to create the next lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people should also be looking forward to that. Yeah, I like that.
We have someone in the chat who's asked a question.
Oh, hang on a minute. It hasn't appeared on my screen yet. This is typical Swiss fashion, by the way. This happens. I'll answer it here. So, what is Awoken Undead? Where can we tune in? Or where can we tune in?
Like if you want to know what Awoken Undead is, rewind the whole episode or rewatch the whole episode.
Rewind.
But if you would like a short summary of what is Awoken Undead is a team comprised of, I think it's currently six or seven content creators who specifically play zombies and create content on zombies. And where can we tune in? You can tune in soon to be on the youtube.com/Awoken Undead YouTube channel, shameless plug. As well as the Awoken Undead Twitter.
Yeah, you can find out every single one of us. But also, you could also maybe tune in to me or JC, whatever. Why don't you just subscribe to this channel as well?
Guys, subscribe to the High Ground Zombies podcast now.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know it.
Oh, we're shameless promotion. I feel like we're ready you right now to creating 2 TikTok accounts. We're such a sellout. Oh dear. Let's move on to another question that somebody put in. Go ahead, Jason.
So, moving slightly away from Awoken, or sort of directing this just towards you, Cavern.
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction when you went from 100 to 500 followers in this year?
That is, yeah. I mean, it's even crazier than just myself going from 100 to 500 followers, because the Awoken Undead team also jumped from in a matter of months nothing to 300 plus followers, and the Awoken squad account jumped up an extra 100 followers, also up to 500 plus as well. So to answer that, it was surreal, and it was a lot to keep up with. Honestly, the only I use this word every time I put out a thank you for the followers is gratitude. That is the word I would use to describe the way I felt. Jumping all those followers up was just pure gratitude, because I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of you guys who engage in the content, help me make the content, but also just something as simple as liking something or reposting something. Really, like that is why I grew. Like, the people who follow me, like, I don't think they understand. They're the reason I grow. Like it's not so much the things that I'm doing; it's the fact that these guys enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know. So yeah, gratitude, grateful.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah, no, it's, to be fair, that is like quite surreal, to be fair. Like I've personally never had that form of growth. Like I've tried content creation, like in terms of my own brand. That didn't like, not that I didn't like, grow or anything, but it's just I didn't upload for ages, but I've never experienced that sort of growth. So I mean that is I mean, well done.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Love it. Somebody says, "Hi there, hi there."
Octavia in the chat.
Oh dear, Octavia Amber.
Octavia is Sarah who's asked some of these questions.
Yeah. Just a side person.
Hi
there. Hi there. Welcome on in.
Another question I have is, why the name Cavern?
Interesting.
This is also from Sarah.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Sarah. So this question is a really good question, and it's pretty deep to unpack. It is because I was born with that name. I was born with the name Cavern. That is my name.
Oh.
So my name is Cavern. And the reason that I'm called Cavern with the 5, replacing the A, is for two facts. I couldn't have the name Cavern. I really, really wanted it, and I actively tried to get that name for all my socials. I could only get it for a couple. So the reason I have 5, replacing the A, is because I was born at the time 5:55.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. So it just seemed fitting. If I'm going to change anything, at least make it somewhat meaningful.
Yeah, as well, JC, obviously. Well, obviously, I know your legal name, but why do you choose JC Hateful?
Well, I mean, okay, right. I choose JC. Right, basically, there's no deep story to this. It was literally like ages ago. Like, it must have been like 6-7 years ago at this point.
Gosh.
Well, my initials are JCH essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the name JC, so that's what I sort of go by.
Not the YouTuber that is known as JC.
Not JC.
I can't lie. That honestly, when I came on the podcast, I was like, "Wait a second, this is a JC Backfire."
and obviously I did know of JC Backfire, and obviously I realized that after I realized that I wanted to sort of online be known as JC. So I knew that was gonna sort of confuse some people, but hey,
I like the name JC Hateful. It kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's no like real meaning to the hateful part. It's JCH is my initials, and then it just kind of like came to me.
I know you're like sorry, I was gonna say like I know your YouTube channel is like Josh Kane, which fair enough, but I would always say like, oh, it's JC Hateful. You know what I mean? It still rolls there. Like, but in terms of me, like, Swits, you know what I mean? I still think to this day, Mark came up with that one when I was in school. I was like changing out from the fan page. I was like, oh, I really don't want to do this. So like, what would work? And I'll say like Swits _. He said like, well, Swits, and I was like, well, what about it? Maybe an underscore after that. That sounds pretty good. And I think it was more like also my first name being Stephen, and then my last one being Whittam, with a W, well SW, and then Swits. I think it's quite unique, very unique way of saying my one. But yeah, that is interesting to hear from both of you. It's always interesting. Have we got another question?
Yep, we definitely do. So I just sort of wanted to take this time to divert to some Black Ops 6 centered questions. What is everyone's favorite thing about Black Ops 6 and why?
I don't mind starting off. the movement.
Yeah.
I love how fluid the movement is. I streamed the other day and I went from Black Ops 6 all the way back to 2015, Black Ops 3, and BO3 now feels somewhat unplayable.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that because, I mean, I also recently went back to Black Ops 3. It was on PC, and I was playing some custom maps, and I was like, this feels so like not janky, but like outdated.
Yeah, it really, honestly, I would say it does kind of feel janky.
Yeah, no, yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Switz, what is your favorite thing and why?
What's my favorite thing?
Yeah, favorite thing, yeah.
I don't know. I think my favorite thing is a lot of nostalgic. You know, Gobblegums going back to Black Ops 3. I think that was a very, very unique idea of adding them back in. It's not the same as in like, oh yeah, you earn Liquid Divinium. You know what I mean? Like going back, Liquid Divinium grinds, going back 2015, 2016. They were fun times, might I just add. Still even after it, you know, I think I can sort of see where Black Ops 6 is maybe coming from, but I still enjoy it for the sheer fact of grinding, still going for high rounds. I think as well, I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but I still think Black Ops 6 is, you know, still quite replayable. A tiny bit.
Yeah.
I think
definitely. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was going to say, I think a lot of it is replayability. I think that was the big key factor going in for Black Ops 6. I still enjoy it, don't get me wrong. I still think it's quite a good Call Zombies game. I think it's better than... I think, if you already asked me, is it better than Cold War? Absolutely. I'm putting my hands up and saying it. I think Black Ops 6 is a better, for zombies-wise, is a better zombies product than Call of Duty Cold War.
I agree.
I'm glad Treyarch really put a lot of time and they put a lot of heart into it as well.
They listened. That's a big thing.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of the criticism, especially with Cold War, was about the maps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the maps weren't original enough. So...
They weren't replayability worth.
Replayable, I'd say, as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
With Black Ops 6, I would argue that my favorite... Well, I'd say that my personal favorite Black Ops thing about Black Ops 6 is probably its uniqueness stands out amongst the rest of the zombies modes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it like incorporates these old sort of nostalgic like elements in the game, but like it really does feel like something new and fresh for Treyarch, and that's what they really needed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's go for the next question.
Yeah, so next question is what is your favorite COD of all time?
That's an interesting question.
I'm still probably going to say AWKN these days, but I know it's a little bit different now.
It's difficult.
It's difficult now because I need to like update it.
There's so many like modern aspects of the newer games that I really enjoy, but take nostalgia out of the equation, I would still and always pick Black Ops 2.
I would 100% agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the Black Ops 2 train.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so hard for me to say though, because I would say I was more Modern Warfare, not the newer ones, nowhere near the newer ones, the older ones, the OGs. I still gotta to this day say MW2 original. I still think it's bang amazing campaign, a bang amazing multiplayer, but there's obviously no zombies aspect. If I still have over zombies, gonna have to say Black Ops 2.
I think if I'm splitting it into like campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, I would probably go campaign. I might actually say Black Ops 1.
Good solid campaign. Solid campaign.
Black Ops 1
Absolutely, it was
campaign
brilliant.
might be my favorite campaign. And then for multiplayer, I would say Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, I think it's anybody's.
Actually,
MW3 was quite good as well for multiplayer.
Right. I think Black Ops 2 is the best one overall. But
I was just about to say,
picking it between them, I'd go Black Ops 1 Black Ops 1 campaign, MW2 multiplayer, and then Black Ops 3 zombies. But Black Ops 2 is just great in all categories.
Absolutely. So where would you say Black Ops 2 categorically then?
I don't think Black Ops 2 is the best in any category, but it definitely is the most consistent one in all categories, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Sorry, what were you about to say, Cavern?
Oh, that was it. I have a quick fire question for both of you guys.
Ooh.
Which is, every zombies map ever created across all of zombies, doesn't have to be Treyarch. Which is your favorite zombies map of all time?
The Horizon Truck, baby! Still, I people disagree with me on that, but I don't care.
Solid pick.
Yeah.
JC?
I don't know, because I'm always like going back and forth between four maps. Constantly, like I'll either go between Shadows of Evil, Mob of the Dead,
yeah,
Origins, and Gorod Krovi.
Gorod Krovi, interesting. I think I think I know quite a few people who would agree with you on Gorod.
Gorod is up there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gorod's good, but I personally don't put Gorod anywhere near my top 3.
That's fair.
What would be?
I think that's just personal preference.
What would be your top 3 then, Cavern?
Ooh, okay. Would you like it 1 to 3 or 3 to 1?
3 to 1.
Do 3 to 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in third place we have. Mob of the Dead.
Yeah.
Understandable.
In second place we have the Rise and Drag.
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
And in first place, any guesses?
Dead of the Night. It is the best zombies map of all time. Dead of the Night.
In first place, we have Transit. No.
Oh my God! Jesus! It's over. The podcast is over.
In first place, we have Shadows of Evil.
Yes.
Respect. Yeah.
To be fair, if I was just like rank my top 3 right now, I would go number 3.
Yeah.
Origins. Number 2, Mob of the Dead. Number 1, Shadows of Evil.
Nice. What was that one for JC? Sorry.
Shadows of Evil.
Oh no, but what was the category? Sorry, from like your personal rankings.
It's personal rankings 3 to 1.
Oh, personal rankings. Oh, right. So obviously, I still say that the Rise of Drac is still number 1. But if I had to be completely honest, personal rankings number 3, I've got Verrucht. I know.
Understandable. No, I think that's fair. I think like it offers a
Challenge.
solid classic zombies experience. Like I think, like you think like right, I want to go back and do a classic zombies experience that isn't like the main one everyone goes towards, which is Derice.
Yeah.
Like Verrucht is just it's a good sort of break from like.
It's still you have your
modern zombies.
Yeah, exactly. I still think it's like Verrucht's up there, and if I had the second one, I gotta go Moon.
Oh,
I got Moon on there.
That's a controversial one.
I like Moon. And then for number 1, It's got to be Origins.
Yeah.
No, that's personal ranking, like, you know. It's not like I was something I have on the side, you know.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I think with Moon, my main issue is are we talking BO3 or BO1 Moon?
BO1. I'm that classic,
Oh,
bro.
BO1. Okay, I would have said BO3 is a much better version of
Oh, it
Moon.
is. No, 100%. I agree with you. It is.
I mean, personal opinions. I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah. But like in terms of
Um,
classic, I would choose Black Ops 1 version.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. What are the next questions? Because we are
Um,
running into that warning section.
So, how I can't speak on this because I haven't played Warzone in years. But how do you guys feel about Warzone right now?
I would personally love to have no part in this conversation because I'm the same
Yeah.
as you. I just don't play Warzone.
I don't play
Yeah.
Warzone. No,
Okay, never mind.
I'm
Never
so
mind that
happy.
one.
I will actually say this. Is there any particular reason why you don't play Warzone?
It's just boring.
It's boring and it's far too competitive. I don't play games on on a level enough to win a battle royale game.
That's fair. Yeah. To be fair, my partner's recently got me back into Fortnite, so
Oh, there you go.
I'm just getting back into battle royale games. And also I know Switz, you've played it, but I can see Cavern said he hasn't actually played Modern Warfare Zombies.
I haven't played Modern Warfare Zombies either.
I thought you had.
No, I haven't touched it. I think it's an
Oh.
awful product as well. Doesn't represent zombies whatsoever.
Fair enough.
That's just
sorry, I missed.
that's a strong opinion on it, but I just don't like it whatsoever.
Sorry, I missed a question towards Cavern. What days are you planning to stream?
Interested. So the likely days in which I will stream will always be a Tuesday or the weekends. With Friday being included, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Solid.
Yeah, solid.
I haven't got myself like a solid streaming section either. To be honest with you. What else have we got?
I'm trying to see if there's any more questions here. How do you feel about the D1 3 sector being added to BO6?
Oh, for God's sake, this man, Resu.
You just know it. You know when it's a Resi question. I mean the clips that I have on my Twitter really speak for themselves. The gun is absolutely OP.
Yeah.
It's so good. Although I tested it in zombies and it is awful.
Really?
It's horrific.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
terrible.
I think that might be all the questions on there. Yeah, I think that's all the questions on X, on Cavern's X. Do you have any on yours?
I actually haven't even checked. I'm double checking right now as we speak. No.
No.
Nothing. I think that is. We've run out of questions. Chat, any more? I wonder.
Chat has any more questions?
Before.
Otherwise, we can move on to my favorite section.
Oh, oh gosh, what's this next section?
I don't see anyone else in chat.
No.
No. Obviously, if you do have any questions and you're in chat, let us know. We can answer them midway through. But right, I was thinking. We spin a wheel.
Oh.
One for a multiplayer COD game and one for a zombies COD game from the past. sort of reflect on, and just have a chat about sort of what we thought of that game at the time and what we think of it now.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm just gonna share my screen quick.
Oh, I wonder if I can get this up on stream. I will be able to get it up on the thing, JC. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right.
No, the dimensions of all went fuzzy.
That's
you know
fine.
what? We'll replace it over Cavern. I'm sure he won't mind that one.
Yeah, replace me. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, jeez, the dimensions is horrific. Okay, maybe not.
That's all good, Kevin. No worries.
No worries.
Yeah, so I think just quickly, Twits, do you have any more questions for Cavern or for me or for anything? Before we move on.
Just say I love you. There you go. Cavern, I love you. No, I haven't got anything. Sorry, gents. I'm out of the questions.
Yeah, I think I'm spent on the questions as well.
I don't have any more questions, but if there's one thing I would just like to leave on is that I want to thank you guys for having me on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I have absolutely zero doubts that the High Ground Zombies podcast will be one of the biggest podcasts in the zombie community.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you.
With that being said, if you don't subscribe, your legs will fall off.
Absolutely. I agree with this.
Subscribe or risk never ever joining Awoken.
Wait, what?
Subscribe or risk never ever joining Awoken.
Yes. Honestly, no chance of joining Awoken if you don't subscribe, and also, like, no chance of being part of the High Ground Zombies podcast if you don't follow Awoken.
You see where we're going?
I mean, if I didn't follow Awoken, if I wasn't following Awoken and subscribed to the High Ground Zombies podcast, I don't know how I would sleep at night.
It's dreadful.
Oh.
You would have nightmares. You see me all the time. That's enough. And that is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, where we've all run out of the questions and we're all out of the ideas. I believe that's where we'll leave it there.
Hashtag kick Awoken Swits.
Yo, let's not do that. Yeah, okay, right. But yeah, other than that, Cavern, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
It's been great. It's been great talking to you, man.
Thank you, and you.
And yeah, with other than that, you heard what Cavern says. Do all that. Subscribe, like, go follow us. We're all down in the subscription. And with other than that, we'll see you all in the next one.
Yep. So we'll carry this section over to the next podcast. We ran over a little bit.
Yeah, we ran over a wee bit of our time frame, but yeah. Anyway, see you all in the next one. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.